Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and good evening, and welcome to your full-time show. A disappointing full-time show after a rather comfortable first half. Sadly, Ipswich Town have been beaten 2-1 in the EFL Trophy by Arsenal. I am, of course, joined once again by my colleagues, who I'll bring in very shortly. But first and foremost, I want to hear from you guys tonight. I want to hear on the comments across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I want to hear you guys on screen. If you've got something to say about tonight's game or a prediction about Sunday's game, get yourself on tonight's show, guys. Just ask for the link in the chat section and you can come on the show. Alternatively, just drop it in the comments and I'll make sure that as many as possible are seen on camera. So I'll bring in our F1 contributor. You can catch him on a Monday night at 8 p.m, Mr. Steve Thompson. Steve,
hello again.
The second half didn't really go to plan. And of course, thoughts with Corey and Darber, and we hope it's not a bad one.
Yeah, I saw that he was forced to go off, which clash of heads, was it?
Yeah.
Which obviously is always nasty. So hopefully nothing serious, and hopefully he'll be back fighting fit soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I've got to be honest, I spent most of the second half lying on the sofa with trying to listen, but my eyes closed because I've got such a terrible migraine. And so I'm not sure if it was a clash of heads or not, but I'm sure Luke was our eagle-eyed fan in the stands. Hopefully not a bad injury for Corey there, Luke.
Didn't look good at all. He collided with a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper seemed to just bashing him on his side, and his knee, he's grunting in pain. They were saying on commentary that he couldn't walk like 100 meters, like he was really struggling. It looked really, really bad. Like it didn't look like one of those ones where, he can rest for a couple of days and be back for Wigan. It looks pretty bad. Maybe it's just speculation, but yeah, didn't look very good at all.
No, and obviously with Toto going off pre-game, we don't know the severity of that injury either. As Brenner said on the commentary, we could have seen the back line up there for Sunday, because with Kane Vincent-Young also being injured, you could well see Edwards, Chambers, Wolfenden, and Ward coming in for Kenlock. But Steve, is that a back four that refills you with confidence and gets you thinking it's okay? Those four will get us through.
I don't know. Now we're a couple of people down. I don't know how long Vincent-Young is going to be out for, obviously. We've got Wilson, we've got Ward. So a couple of strong players there. Wilson was very good last year, and Ward has been good so far in pre-season. Obviously, Chambers at right back, I feel probably still the best one. I would hazard a guess. I would probably play it safe and start Ward over Kenlock.
Yeah.
Certainly from today as well.
That's the sensible approach, obviously, because Kenlock didn't have the greatest of games. You have to say. Just a few comments here. George Lee, are we seeing the first comment about rotation not happening? I wonder, because it's all right avoiding rotation, but what do you do now? Suspected starters have lost to Arsenal 2021s, but more importantly, you've had a few players go down injured. It does hurt you, and it is only September, and we're already getting players injured. It's a worry, Luke, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that in terms of like the rotation, I think Nadaba didn't really play the whole of the game, Bristol Rovers game. He came on as a sub because obviously Chambers came off injured. So I can understand in his case, but if you think of it, there's two changes in a competition that they didn't really look like they were entirely bothered about, to be honest. I agree in some points. It's obviously we want team play and consistent team playing so they can get the the relationships there. But I do think it's a bit unnecessary, playing all those, as I was saying beforehand. I think maybe sticking in like Lancaster beforehand, that sort of thing. I don't know what their plan is in terms of strikers, because I find it really hard to judge Norwood in the second half, because the service, how it was in the first half was the midfield three were playing more. There was more of those rake and Gazelle passes. In the second half, there was none of that. Arsenal were pressing us, they were running over us, and I think we actually looked pretty tired, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Onto Facebook, we've got some fantastic comments over there. Kean Leathers, Lambert, I thought the lads were brilliant. Stephen Cates, good luck for the boys this season. Bill Old, players' minds elsewhere. You could see when they scored, no real reaction. The play was same as Saturday, just no effort. Interesting comment. Mark Frost, disappointed with the result, fearing Wigan on Sunday. And Rob McMillan, we need Skews back, dare I say it. Nolan was way too negative, and goal was shocking attempt at 1-1. I'll just bring in Matt. I'll just drop you out quickly. Sorry, Steve. I'll bring you back so stay ready. But Matt, welcome into the stream this evening. Thanks for joining us. Talking Town contributor, obviously on a regular basis. That comment there needs Skews back. Nolan too negative. What are you thinking with that one?
It's absolutely embarrassing. We've just lost to teenagers. Those kids are going to be in school registration tomorrow morning.
Don't make me laugh. It hurts my head when I laugh.
It's an absolute embarrassment. We were cruising the first half, weren't we? As Darren Ambrose said on the coverage, we've let them back into the game. They've won 2-1. They've won quite comfortably. Against teenagers. The kid
You're not alone. You're not alone, Matt.
It was like 17 or something. It's absolute embarrassment. We're back to square one.
I've got Tor Russo. I've got Tor Russo on Facebook.
All the good stuff. Go on.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Arsenal kids are far better than Ipswich Town's first team. Fucking embarrassing.
It's like all the good stuff that happened at the weekend has gone down the toilet for me. They should hang their heads in shame.
So where did it go wrong for you then? So where did it go wrong for you in that second half? Where did it go wrong?
I think the fact when we conceded right on half time didn't help, did it? I don't know if that. But it comes back into our the winning mindset we've been talking about all the summer. One little setback, and the game is written off for us, isn't it? What do you think, Steve? You agree with me?
Yeah, I agree. It was embarrassing. Arsenal under 21s, and the second half they've actually played us off the pitch. It was shocking.
They didn't have to work very hard for the victory, did they?
No, and there was a lot of positive energy after that win at Bristol Rovers, and I thought, okay, great, we can push on from this. And like you say, it feels like we're just back to square one again.
Yeah.
Sadly, it does. It does a little bit. But then we've got a few comments coming in. Daniel Farthing, can't read into this loss too much. The intensity and passion was missing from Saturday, and nothing cut really in what's going to be a very busy few hours of football.
That does not wash with me. You can't read too much into this. This was a competitive game with pretty much our first team players.
But guys, we can't have a meltdown every time we get beat because we're Ipswich Town. We're not Barcelona. It's going to happen from time to time. I agree with Daniel.
Not against kids. I'm not having it. Not against kids. It's a disgrace. I'm fuming. I like to pay
Luke, what do you say about that?
I don't know. It's a strange one. I think this time last season we were playing Tottenham under 21 in the EFL Trophy. We ended up winning that game.
Yeah, we beat him quite comfortably, I think.
Yeah, I think we won
you're right, quite easily, didn't we? Yeah, 100%.
2-1 or something like that. But in that game, it was the more individual talents of Dobra that actually set up the 2 goals for Roberts in that game. In this game, I don't think we weren't knocking on their door as such. We had some chances in the second half. Hughes hit the post from a very acute angle. Nolan probably should have done better in the chance that he had near the end of the game.
Man, that was lame, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like it didn't know what to do. It's like he didn't know if we wanted to round the goalkeeper or actually take a shot. Like Norwood was there.
He was caught in 2 minds. I think he was in 2 minds.
I don't know.
Hughes was unlucky. That shot against the bar, I thought.
From the angle that I saw originally, I actually thought it was going in, but obviously it hit the post and went out. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I think if we'd rotated players and there weren't players that had played as many games and we lost, I could probably deal with it a bit more. But with just 2 changes with Cornell and Kenlock coming in for Holy and Ward, they're the only 2 changes from the Bristol Rovers team.
I tell you what, Luke, we gave more the credit. We gave more the credit at the weekend, but tonight they've let everyone down. They have let everyone down. They have lost the children. I'm absolutely fuming. It's terrible.
Bill Old, just remember, half our players are kids also. Why did you come back to that?
Edwards? Hughes?
He played 30. Hang on. I've been in, you 2 in the WhatsApp group all week have been telling me how Norwood's not played any football and he can't be counted on. Now you're telling me suddenly he's the next he's the second coming. And
come on, Martin, he's playing against children here. He's playing against 17 and 18-year-olds.
Did he look fit enough to start Sunday?
No. He looks overweight today.
That was a unanimous no. I'll bring in. Stay ready, Matt. I'll bring in I'll bring in other Talking Town contributor. Guys, don't let these guys have all the airtime. Get yourself on the show tonight.
Luke,
Get yourself on the show tonight, guys. Ask for the link. I'll bring in the Cruncher. Cruncher, you were telling me Norwood's not ready. Did he look ready to you?
Matt needs to call his jets down, doesn't he?
Didn't he just?
Call his jets. We've just lost at the EFL Trophy. Come on. Who cares?
Central.
Norwood, way off the pace.
Yeah, he way off the pace. You're absolutely right. Whatever they're drinking down in Essex, can I have some, please, Matt? Because you're definitely on the OTT. I'll bring Steve. Steve, who stood out for you two tonight? Steve and Rich, talk to each other. Talk to me. Who stood out? Who said, look, play me Sunday, you'll get a 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 sort of game from me? Anyone?
Well, I couldn't actually. I didn't have the game on. I saw how the live text going through, but from what I've been seeing, Bishop, I think played quite well.
Yeah,
I think when Teddy went off, when we made the subs, we sort of dropped off. He brought on Edwards, who I thought was poor. Norwood was poor. I thought Drennan done all right. You know, he keeps the shirt for me for Sunday because Norwood's he's not at it. He's going to be on the bench. It's a bit of a strange one, really. He used his subs all really early, didn't he? By 55 minutes.
Yeah, very un-Lambert-like.
Very un-Lambert-like. But I thought when Bishop went off, we sort of dropped off a little bit, and we didn't really get near them second half, did we? We didn't press them. It was a couple of decent goals, to be fair. The second goal was a good through ball. I think the defence were caught sort of ball watching a little bit, and he tucked it away well. But look, we hit the crossbar. I think Judge had a header, but. There's no need to overreact, is there? Matt needs to go and have a lay down and have a sleep. I know he wants to. He's got big hopes of winning this trophy. I couldn't give a stuff. I honestly could not get. I couldn't give a stuff about this trophy. It's minutes in the legs. Yeah, we've lost to Arsenal kids. Are any of them like they said on the commentary? Will any of them Arsenal kids play for their first team?
Well, I said
Probably
Maitland Niles wouldn't do, but he did. So who knows? But I'm with you for once here, Cruncher. This cup is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Sunday's really important. I would have actually rotated tonight, but I see the logic behind it. Did Emir Hughes do enough to warrant a starting place on Sunday?
No.
I like Hughes. I'm quite a Hughes fan, but not as much tonight. Bishop would be sort of my go-to for Sunday over Hughes. As much as I like the guy.
I think Hughes, Steve, he's living on his loan spell 3 years ago. You know, he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near the player then, and I don't think he's going to be nowhere near the player that he was then, because he's not going to be in his first 11. I wouldn't have thought in Lambert's first 11, and he's another guy who's on decent money down there, and he really needs to be playing football.
Yeah, I mean he's not a bad player, but he'll be more on the bench if anything this year than obviously in the first 11, because people like obviously a Bishop who had a good game, far better than Hughes when he came on. Dazelle, I think, did quite well apart from the odd little thing. Dazelle needs to prove he's got what it takes this year to really cement that place on the starting 11, because the past couple of years I know he's obviously rotation, he was quite a victim of that last year, but when he gets his chances, he needs to really take them with both hands, because I think he does deserve to start.
What do you think, Luke? Who are you starting in midfield on Sunday? Would you start Downs?
I would.
Yes.
To be honest, like if we were picking three midfielders at the start of the season, I'd go down to Zell Bishop. But obviously, with what's happened with Downs, if his head's not in the game, if he's not asked not to play Bristol Rovers, are they now going to play him against Wigan? I'm not so sure. Like, part of me in the Bristol Rovers game, Nolan he took a while to get going, and then he was all right. But today he didn't really show it for me. I think a lot of the players in this team suffer from consistency, in my opinion. You know, they feel they can sail their way through a game because the other players around them are playing quite well. I feel that if Downs does move on, which seems eventual, we really need players to step up and, as Paul Lambert says, grab the shirt. I think Bishop and Dazelle have played really well the last couple of games. But with Nolan, there's that inconsistency there. The same with Hughes. that we
look at the chance he missed. Look at the chance he missed,
John
Martin.
Nolan
It was
is Mr. consistent. John Nolan is Mr. Consistent. The only problem is
Pisses
it's not the
Lee.
consistent you want. Comments from Facebook. We've got Rob. No, we have that one, Rob. I'm not reading Skews out again. Mark Dowling had enough chances to win the game. Mark Frost, same problem, lack goals. Craig Riar, Lambert will make 8 changes. Nigel Austin.
There's another thing that there, Martin. You know, there's a comment there. The goals. Where are the goals coming from this season? Like I said in the comments before the game, what team that are going to be challenging at the top of the league are going to sell their top scorer from last year? Unless we've got someone lined up for him, Caden Jackson. And I know he's people are going to get in his ear because I think he's got another year, hasn't he, after this, potentially.
It's a year with an option.
Yeah, so obviously he wants a pay rise, and at the minute with the salary cap. But I just think, why are you selling your top scorer, 11 goals, 7 assists, in a team that's struggling to score goals?
Well, let's be fair. We've not sold anybody yet, and for the first time in a long time, we appear to have a bit of a spine to our transfer policy in the sense that we're saying no, not just saying, oh, okay, we'll give him a taxi fare up there, and you can just sign him anytime you want. So it's good to see that. But yeah, I do agree with you. However, no one's gone just yet, and we don't know what may be happening if he does go. As Hock says here, the real business starts on Sunday. Wayne Teal says it may seem an embarrassing result, but some of these youngsters Arsenal play in the League Cup. Fizz Andy, Norwood, is he even worth the shirt? That's a big comment, because if Jackson does go, Steve, Norwood, you have to believe he's your number one striker. Is he?
Yeah.
What do you think on that comment from Andy?
Well, like Cruncher said, where are the goals going to come from? I mean, Jackson was probably the most consistent striker we had last year. Obviously, the top scorer with Norwood. If he goes, we need Norwood back to full fitness, but he didn't look, from what I can see, he didn't really look on it today. He should have been able to score today, to be honest. And I don't know. I'd still put him down as one of the main starters, but I do worry where the goals are going to come from, because Drinan, you can't rely on him to provide loads of goals in the league. If Jackson goes, we've got Norwood, Sears. Sears seems to have found the shooting boots again, which is good.
Yeah. As Steve says there, creating chances is a bit of an issue. Matt, obviously, we'll try and bring you down a notch from where you were at, but we've had Andy's comment in regards to Norwood. As I've said, if Jackson goes, Norwood is the number one striker. I love James Norwood. Where do you stand on this? If Jackson goes, do we have enough in the squad, or do you want to go and reinvest that in a striker? Matthew. I'll ask you, Cruncher.
Get him out. What is going on with him tonight? What's happening over in Chelmsford? Is there no Wi-Fi? It's not flooded over there again, and they go down in canoes down the street.
Anyway, to host tonight.
What was the question?
The question was, Daniel,
James?
I'll go with some comments. Daniel Barnard. Ipswich are not a fearful team anymore in League One. They're just an average team with a nice stadium. And cardboard cutouts.
Hang on. There was about 50.
That's the normal lower tier comment.
DiCaprio was there. Did you see DiCaprio in the crowd?
No, I didn't. Was he there?
Yeah, he's there. I see him there. Yeah, he's there.
Hawks. Norwood won't get 20 goals next season. No chance. My windows are still well and truly intact. Rob Pryke, starting lineup for Sunday versus Wigan. I'll ask Steve, because Crunchy, you're going to be doing a very special show. I'll ask Steve and Luke, what are your starting lineups for Sunday? Is Holy your goalkeeper, or is Cornell your goalkeeper?
Holy in goal, without a doubt.
Luke?
Holy for me.
Yeah, so both agreeing on Holy. Who's your back four then?
It's tricky, obviously, now with, you don't know how bad NCR is and obviously how bad Ndaba is. I would say I'll play it sort of a bit safe. I've got Chambers right back, Ward left back, and then maybe a centre pairing of Wilson and Wolfenden.
Like it. Luke, you agreeing with it, or are you going somewhere else?
I'd do the same. I saw that they posted an image today and Dinassian was in the background, but obviously he wasn't involved, so I don't know what that means for him.
So if you're agreeing with the back four, are you going midfield 3 or midfield 5? Diamond, Paul Jewell days. What are you doing with your midfield?
Midfield 3, I think.
You've got to play 3, sadly.
Yeah.
Midfield 3. The 2 I can guarantee would be Bishop and Dazelle.
Bishop, Dazelle, and if Downs is there, he plays for me.
Yeah,
get his head right. Get his head right. You're in the team. You're playing. You're an Ipswich Town player until someone comes in with the required bid.
Yeah, absolutely. If Downs isn't around, or if Downs isn't playing, it's tricky. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Hughes. I'd rather Hughes than Nolan, to be honest. Someone like Skuse, I can't see Skuse getting much of a look in at the minute, especially not with how well most of them have been playing.
He's another one who's not played no games, has he? Skuse has not played any football, so I wouldn't.
Does he need games?
Well, he's got to get his old legs moving, hasn't he?
I don't think he needs game. I really don't think so. Sid Driver's trying to get Wi-Fi in Harrods. We'll bring it back in.
Oh dear.
Matt, who played well for you tonight? Give me a shining light.
Hello, Matt. Are you there?
I'm here. Wi-Fi issues. Who played well tonight? I thought Corey was doing okay until he got injured. That seemed a bit of an alarming thing for me. Wonder what he's done now. But no one, look, we've lost 2 kids. No one has covered themselves in glory. I'm sorry.
Chill out. Come on, relax.
You're there in your Barcelona shirt. Okay?
Relax.
I'm here.
Relax. You could have watched the England game. That was a cracker, wasn't it?
What was the score? I wasn't even paying attention. What was the score? 0-0?
I didn't watch it. It was 0-0, but they said it was absolute shite.
Yeah, just like the game at the weekend.
I'll ask Steve. Steve, who played well for you tonight? Give me a shining light as we come on. Someone. Bishop for me played well. Fantastic.
Bishop for me. Bishop, Dazelle, the odd. I think Bishop. Yeah, sorry, Dazelle, the odd little thing, but overall, Dazelle played well. Bishop played well. I think, to be fair, it's those 2 for me. They're the standouts, and they're going to be. I think this year they'll be very good.
Yeah,
I like that.
I kind of agree. Bishop, Dazelle, Nandaba before his injury, Drynan with his link-up play, but obviously didn't really offer an attacking threat. I thought Sears was a bit non-existent in this game. The same with Edwards. He ends up doing like needless fouls and tackles at the end of the game. Other than Bishop, Dazelle, and Nandaba, there weren't many others that really impressed me, to be honest. No, I thought Cornell could have probably done better for one of the goals. Didn't really cover himself in glory in terms of he came out, didn't seem to dive that much. Near the end, we got a corner and he almost got ahead to it near the end of the game. But other than that, we're kind of clutching at straws. I was surprised not to see Lancaster play, to be honest. I would have loved to have seen him come on. The second game, obviously, Bristol didn't come on at Bristol Rovers, hasn't come on today. I don't know.
No, I completely agree with that. I'm just looking at Neil's comment on the screen here. I'd love to get the chat's comments on that as well, because Neil believes we need another midfield player, which on the face of it, you look at the squad, you don't need another midfield player because you've got so many midfield players.
Yeah.
I see you nodding your head there, Luke. You think we do then?
It's a thing with Lack Fraser, the goals from midfield. We have a bunch of players that play in the central midfield position, but other than just Downs and Dazelle and Bishop, the other ones that we have, there's no real we're going to put. When we were going through our team for next week, none of us really were saying, we're definitely Nolan or we're definitely Hughes. There needs to be that competition in our central midfielders that are constantly banging onto that place to give us something. I said before I wanted us to sign Abu Adams from Forest Green, who is a dynamic centre midfielder, can also play in 10, but he gets goals from midfield, he drives at people. There's so many. It happened at Bristol Rovers and it happened today when Nolan gets the ball, he's always passing back. There's never passing forward. There's so many chances when the striker's making or someone in attacking position is making a run and you see it for yourself, and they clearly do, but they're always passing back. There's never the passing forward. When you have Downs in there, when you have Dazelle in there, Dazelle has that, that fact that he can just look at the ball and pass it and it goes there. With Downs, he's the same. He takes people on. But when you have Nolan in there, he seems to play it safe. Hughes can have the odd moment where he gets that kind of box-to-box style like he did at West Ham, but I feel like he lacks confidence in terms of taking on his man all the time. If you're going to bring a player like Skuse in, it's a very defensive option.
Very? You want to put very, very in front of that sentence?
Yeah, we don't need a defensive midfielder. I said it before. We need someone in midfield who's going to get 8 to 10 goals, who's going to break in the box. That chance for Nolan, the second one in the second half, was a prime example. You know, a decent goal scoring midfielder. He tucks it away, and it's a goal. You can't miss them type of chances. I know it's the EFL Trophy tonight, but on Sunday, if we have a chance like that and we miss it, you know, it's a bit like we'll go back mine to the header against Coventry. You know, John Nolan there. So, but we're not gonna sign a midfielder like that because they cost money. You know, you only have to look at teams in this league who've strengthened, who are spending money. Look at today, a prime example of a player who we should have signed, Sammy Smodics, £1 million. You know, £1 million. Them guys up the road, Peterborough, they pulled it out again. You know, and we're left scraping around. We're probably going to flog 2 of our best players, and then we'll say, yeah, but the squad's good enough. I was disappointed tonight. Lancaster didn't get on.
Yeah, no, I was as well. And I think actually the one person who will be impacted more severely by Flynn Downs leaving will be Andre Dozzell, because Andre Dozzell needs Flynn Downs next to him in that midfield, because Flynn Downs does so much. I call it firefighting, where he's just all over the pitch, putting out fires, doing the grunt work, doing the stuff that you don't necessarily always appreciate, but it's there. He's the engine that keeps it going. And Dozzell is a lovely passer with the football. We saw that tonight. But equally, he can be a little bit sloppy. He can be a little bit positionally naive, where someone like Downs next to Dozzell makes him so much better. So if Downs does leave, which looks like it might do, Dozzell is going to be the one that really feels that the worst.
We can go back to your comment. I think it was in March, Martin. What is a John Nolan? Because I still don't know what he is. And look, I think there's a player in there somewhere, but I'm still scratching my head. What is he? Is he a box-to-box midfielder? I don't know. He flits about in the game without really affecting it.
Yeah. It's a strange one, really, because like you think of it, when he came in with Paul Hurst, we were talking about this John Nolan, this goal-scoring John Nolan, who played as a number 10 for Shrewsbury, I think, at that time. But we never saw it. Like, there's flashes, there's games where he's had the odd goal. I think Derby, in our relegation season, he got a goal there, but we're not seeing it. He got a goal tonight, but to be fair, it was a scuffed effort. Like, if you put anyone else in that position...
I think I'd have saved that if I was in goal, Matt, tonight. I'd have thrown my cap on that one.
I can't believe you're so, you're not so bothered by the result. You're only as good as your last performance. It's a terrible performance. If we throw that in Sunday, we're going to lose. And you'll all be
glorified pre-season.
So miserable.
Send him to bed. Go and have your cocoa, Matt. Go and have your cocoa, and we'll see you later in the week.
I've removed him. He's gone. He's so miserable. I can't be having that on a Tuesday evening. I really can't.
Wants to win this. He wants to win this trophy. He said he wants a trip to Wembley.
But back to your Peterborough comment, I was on a Zoom chat with Darren McAnthony last night, and they identify players years and years in advance, which sounds quite elementary. But obviously, when Tony left, they already knew the state of the market. They've been tracking a couple of players for 2-3 years. Do you get that sense that Town have the finger on the pulse? So if he's back, so if Jackson was to leave, which you're looking like he might, do you think Town have been tracking somebody for a year, 18 months?
It should be, shouldn't it?
Should be, yes. But do you think? Do you have that confidence in your club?
No. Simple answer, no. I don't, honestly. Do you, Steve? Because I don't.
Not at all. Like you say, with Peterborough, yeah, okay, they got Smodics in so quickly, and they've obviously been keeping an eye on him for a while. If Jackson was to go tomorrow, I have no faith that they'd find someone decent anyway to replace him. It's like they do no work in the market to keep their eye on things at all.
Well, there you go. I agree with that. Obviously, Luke's the recruitment man. Luke, do you have any confidence that the club have been looking for a while now and have already have targets identified if Jackson was to leave?
I just feel like as a club, we're reactionary as a club. Like we wait for something to happen before we do it ourselves. Like we were linked with Danny Graham, for Christ's sake. Like I know he's a good striker at this level, but he's an older guy. Like if you could get rid of Jackson, someone who's like I think 24-ish, around that age. If you get rid of him, you need to replace it for someone who's around that age.
The way we play in our system at the minute, Luke, would fit a Danny Graham. I honestly think it would. I know he's old and he's Colleen Nolan. Look, he's back.
I think he's signed for Sunderland anyway, but
Gets me every time. Every time it gets
but
me.
Someone like that, because it's like Ollie Hawkins.
Where's the minute? Knows that people are talking about.
Yeah, it all comes down to money, and we're not paying.
No,
we're scrimping, aren't we? We're scrimping like Peterborough is shopping in Waitrose, and we're shopping in Poundland, aren't we?
We sadly are, but that's our time, I think. Big show on Friday night. The season preview, although the season technically started, but the league season preview with myself, you, Matt, and various other guests along the way. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me, Cruncher. Thank you to all my guests for joining me this evening. It's been a real pleasure. But equally, between me and you, more importantly, thank you to everybody at home who's got involved this evening. Thank you for your comments, your messages, and of course for those that have appeared on the show. We'll be back on Friday with another live show discussing the season, and then back on Sunday with the season curtain opener. I'm really looking forward to it, despite what Matt may say. 100 points, 100 goals, it's still coming home, guys. Don't worry. See you soon.